Hello everybody, how are you going? And welcome to this video where today we'll be looking at what properties are for sale just on the islands off of Vancouver. Of course, you have Vancouver Island being the namesake one, but we also have Graham Island. And so if I just try to just draw along this channel here and all the way up, not going for Alaska as well. We're just after what do the Canadians truly have for us. If I apply that, I can't imagine there'll be too many, but here we go. Starting out 600, there's no other filters on or anything like that, but a $234,000. Wow. What? 4 beds. I feel like I just want to start with that one. I mean, to be honest, off the get-go, as long as there isn't anything majorly structurally wrong with this, or you're not going to get an asteroid fall on your head in the next couple of months, I don't feel like there can be anything that you can go, well, for 200,000, I would have expected more. Like, it's only 235,000, but it seems like a very, very livable house. Like, very livable. There have been plenty of other properties that I've seen that have definitely not outperformed this and a quadruple the price. I mean, of course, location is going to be a major price factor, but for a 4-bedroom terrace, is it? I mean, I kind of just skipped over the entire thing. I just wanted to go straight to the listing, but looking for an affordable living in North Vancouver Island. Okay, very nice. This 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhome. Townhome's interesting. We call it a townhouse, but it's the exact same thing. Maybe just what you need. But yeah, for 235,000, 4 beds. That doesn't seem like it can get any better. I mean, built in 1966, that's pretty old compared to a lot of the ones that I have seen out of North America. Wow. Well, I mean, it doesn't look that old, and it's clearly been renovated, and there is plenty of photos to be able to kind of make a decent decision. It's not like you're only seeing the one Goldilocks photo or anything like that. And so, honestly, this is the kind of thing that people dream of in Australia, like a 4-bedroom anything for 2. If it starts with a 2, you're starting with 2 million, not 200. I mean, of course, that one did say that it was, there it is, right on the North Vancouver Island. But I do want to be coming up here to Graham Island. I believe there's only 3 properties in the entire thing. And so what do we have? A 3-bed, 3-bed, 3-bed. Fair enough. All of them are listed as a single-family residence, which makes sense. I mean, there's no reason for these places to be just crammed in. I mean, the last one was a townhome, but you're living kind of in the middle of nowhere on an island. There's no reason just to be squashed in together. I mean, we can even see the kind of from the photos that you're clearly in nature. It's not built up. There's no massive skyscrapers around you. And of course, that is going to be part of the problem. The negative side of living in any of these areas is the facilities and everything that comes with it, whether it's hospitals or lack thereof, or food prices or petrol prices, whatever it may be. You are certainly going to be paying some things. But when you're only paying 500, I mean, it's not as much as the first one was, being 200, but for only 500 for this one, and all within that kind of range, 4, 5, and 600,000, it feels like it's not too bad. If you just wanted to get away from it all, clearly been looked after, or certainly in this case have been nicely refurnished and refurbed and all those kind of things. Hopefully the dogs come with it, or maybe you don't want them, but whatever it is, they're nice homes. You're not living in some rundown house in a rundown area. You're just living away from it all. And so for 620,000, I mean, again, to be finding something like this in Australia, it's hard to compare to an area where this would be. But I don't know, for this kind of level of finishing, where it's clearly like, you've got big exposed beams, I don't know, it feels like probably more like a 900,000. And I believe the Canadian dollar is still basically paired with the Australian, close enough where you can say that 600,000 isn't getting you very far in Australia, but 600,000 and even 400,000 for this one, like, look at this. It's beautiful. Overall, for 400 grand, it's very livable. You just rip the carpet up if you really wanted to, repaint it, whatever. Like, it's so cheap. It costs you 10 grand, maybe, or 5 grand, or whatever. You could do so much with so little money that you've saved because you haven't spent millions on the property. Especially with all of this bunker, no, but not bunker, it's basement storage. It's just crazy. I mean, yes, it might not be to everyone's taste, and living here, literally here, sure, on the forest in the middle of nowhere. Like I said, you're not having everything at your disposal, but that's the best part. No one else is around. I mean, I do want to see exactly where this is if I can. I can only imagine that this place would get pretty darn cold. I mean, yes, you do have a bit of shelter from the Pacific Ocean, considering that you are not on the literal western side, and there is an airport right there as well. But still, to be having your entire livelihood go over Hodges Avenue, that seems like you're almost living in the Truman Show. Look at that. That is insane. I mean, I put it on low to high, but I just wanted to see what is the lowest it can go. And yes, you're paying for just land, and yes, you're paying for Well, that says condo for sale. Either way, whatever is going on here, the fact that you can even put a $20,000 for sale price for land, like it just doesn't exist in so many parts, well, anywhere in Australia, but so many parts of the world where people are truly just fighting for every square millimeter. But for 20 grand, you can just come and live up on Vancouver Island. I mean, at the same time, let me just go price high to low. Wow. 30 million, 15 million. These places are wild. This is just land that's a listing. That's crazy. How big is this? Only 9 acres? What do you mean only 9 acres? How is it $30 million and only 9 acres? What? 7 breathtaking waterfalls. How is that like a hashtagable thing? Jewel canyons? That's what? Old train trestle? What does this even mean? I don't even understand how can this be this much. Discover one of British Columbia's most stunning properties, a majestic 10-acre estate owned by the family since 1966. Okay, so it's not land or it is land. I didn't see any houses, but I would have thought that a estate has to be a house, not land. Isn't that right? An estate is a livable area. It's not just rural living in a tent. It's a bit different. Look, it literally says unimproved land. I don't know if you can call that an estate. It's nice, but it's not an estate. I mean, reading the description, I can only imagine that it's just been re-permitted or rezoned or whatever you want to be calling it to allow so many more multi-dwellings, or they even mentioned tourist attractions and all those kind of large-scale commercial almost quantities of money coming in where you could afford $30 million. I mean, it's certainly after seeing a $20,000 block of land. Makes 30 million just seem ridiculous. Like, how is there both ends of the spectrum on one island? You can buy, am I right, 1,000 of the other ones? I feel like that's wrong, but you've got 3 extra zeros there, and so 1,000 of the other blocks of land, actually 1,500 blocks of the other land for the price of this one. So how is it? I don't understand. How is land so wildly different? It's not even like it's 100 hectares or something. It's 10 acres. Not even 9.3 apparently. I mean, something like this at least makes a little bit more sense. It's clearly a highly manicured, wow, that's a lot of joinery, but it's clearly a house, not an estate like the last one was. No, a proper estate. You've got glass in there. Wow, this is an estate. 40 photos. Look at that. Oh, that's what I mean. It gets cold. I wonder which way you're looking there, maybe back east? I'm not sure, but this is certainly the kind of place where you can go, wow, okay, I can see the kind of money that it took to build it because of the craftsmanship and everything that has gone into it. I mean, first of all, hang on, I was going to say, is it like a 15 bedroom, but it's a 3 bedroom, 4 bathroom. How is it only that small? Where are these? These must be the biggest bedroom bathroom combinations in the world. I mean, of course, you were going to be having a cinema and probably a cellar somewhere in here as well, and probably also a boathouse for the, no, it's not going to be a lake. It's going to be an ocean for once, the first time ever in Canada. But no, you're always going to be having these just tick the box items like big gates, because of course you're just going to be having big gates and big driveways and big basements and whatever this is. I guess that's a shed. The size of someone's 4-bedroom house is just your little shed where you can store your toys. This is wild, but man, is it a nice place. Look at that block of land. That's a serious development has gone on there, but so many houses. I mean, it's not small, but no wonder it's only a 3-bedroom when you've split up the entire building area by, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 places. You can only laugh at the fact that this is up for $15 million, and you can see the level that it's operating on when you see the craftsmanship and the landscaping and everything. And then the real estate agents get it, and they take some photos, sure, and they look nice, but it's still only 1 paragraph. What? Surely you're just going to be having pages of stuff. Just at least look like the commission is going somewhere. I mean, maybe they've organized something special, but come on, you're getting out of a 15 million. If you're taking 2%, 5%, you're making a lot of money, whatever your percent you're making. And so to be writing 1 paragraph that you might have not even written these days, that seems a little bit lowbrow. That's just explaining everything we can already see. You don't even give any information like, oh, it was owned by this person for this long or anything like that. It's crazy. Only being sold turnkey. I mean, this is another one that I just clicked on again. The wood and timberwork is just crazy. Look at that, like full-on trees everywhere. Exquisite is the word I believe they used, and I can certainly get behind that, or at least I saw it somewhere. But seeing that it's only a paragraph again, surely that means that there's a word limit. I've just never encountered that before. Surely, why would you be limiting your ability to be verbose, so to say? Whatever it is, I guess you can come down here and give a lot of different details and features and everything like that. Spa features, has view, of course, spectacular ocean and island, all of those kind of things, but I don't know, to be reading doc points feels a little bit different. If you can just actually make it succinct but in a nice flowing way in a paragraph, feels surely better. The photos just do it all. The words are just words. No one's really there for the words. They're just here to see these trees and the way that they've been used. That's an incredible house. Look at this thing. 40 photos again, but you're just taking full advantage of them. I can only assume, or I certainly hope, that these trees would have been there local and it's not like they've been imported from Italy or something, because look at the kind of area. If we can find a photo that we're living in, there's plenty of these exact trees around, and so to be using anything else would just be ridiculous. It's a very expensive property, but the fact that they've used them everywhere, I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's unique, and I'm sure not everyone likes it, as it's a bit, I don't know, unpolished isn't the perfect word for it, because it's clearly been highly treated and very, very clean, but it's obviously not just a perfect modern column, a minimalist column by any means. It's got the knots and the trees and everything like that, but it's a very nice use, and you don't get, with any of these big beams, you don't get too many chances, but if you're just having to treat an entire tree in one go, you don't get any kind of mistakes. There's no puttying up the mistakes, because it's just real. Perhaps when you are using this much timber, it's not too much of a worry. It's just all going to blend into the cathedral that this building has turned into. But man, you certainly have capitalized on the surrounding areas, both in materials and in view. It's a very, very nice lodge, or I don't even know what you'd call it. It's not an estate, that's for sure. Whoa, hang on, what? A 30-foot floor-to-ceiling fireplace made from ancient Utah ocean floor rock, anchored by a 6-ton solid black granite hearth? Whatever it is, I'm just out of words, because I want to be seeing this thing again. I marveled at it, but I just want to be seeing if I can spot this 6-ton. Where was it? It was at the first photos or the last photos? There we go. Now that I know exactly what it is, I can marvel at it even more. I was kind of taking in the trees and I went, oh, that's a cool piece of art, but I didn't really think about exactly the process of making it. And so to be shipping in all those rocks, but then this 6-ton block down here, carved and all, that's a serious undertaking. It's clearly had a crane involved in terms of the trees and everything, but 6-ton, just like that, that's a serious thing that you have to make sure you get aligned, hopefully the first time, because you don't want to be picking it up and picking it up and picking it up and picking it up and possibly damaging something and get another one sent and carved, and that would be crazy. But then look, we've seen the $15 million ones, and we've seen the 30 million and the 20,000 and everything else in between. But there's a big difference between 30 million and 2 million. And so if I was to pick, if I had the money, I feel like this is more the kind of one. I haven't looked exactly at the location, but this is the kind of one that if you have money, not money, but if you have money, this is the kind of little kind of pocket of the world that you could just absolutely disappear into. If that's what you wanted to do, if you don't want to be in the city, you don't want to be in the skyscrapers, you don't want to have any of that, this kind of block is what you can just absolutely enjoy forever. Just doing whatever you want. It's a very understated home. It's nothing like a 6-ton granite benchtop or 6-ton fireplace or anything like that, but it would just work exactly as you want it to. Just look, there's plenty of timber, plenty of bedrooms for whatever you could need. You could certainly make it, is my point, with all this land. It's a bit of a shame that person is right there. Maybe just buy them out. If you've got 2 million, you might be able to buy them out as well. But just this perfect peninsula pocket, you've got all of that ability just to be exploring all around there with that kind of view. This is what people move up here for, I can only imagine. Just all up in and around these islands. You have to be having a boat, surely. It's going to be bitterly cold for so much. And you can see that through Alone and all those kind of TV shows. But man, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for something like this. For 2 million, if I had the 2 million, would I do it if this is something I was looking for? I reckon so. This is the kind of property that just seems to be hitting and encapsulating the entire point of these islands. And it does it so well. It keeps the nature around, gives you your own little slice, gets people away, and you can just enjoy everything that is at your front door.